What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mikey, Hot Takes, serving up hot takes like they're hotcakes, and we're back with another video. And this week, once again, we're going to be ranting about the New York Football Giants, as you can see behind me. I mean, I don't even want to waste any time. You know exactly. If you follow me on Twitter, my Twitter's going to be in the description as well as in the video. I'm going to try to put up a little graphic so people can follow me on Twitter, because during these Giants games, you need to follow me. I'm telling you right now, I am absolutely losing my mind week after week after week after week. And people are going to sit here and say, Mike, like, this is funny. Like, your team stinks. Get over it. Like, every other one of your teams stinks. He's wearing a Mets shirt with Neil Walker and Asdrubal Cabrera on it. So clearly I'm not new to terrible players and shit teams, okay? However, the New York Giants have been finding new ways to disappoint me every single week. Every week, it's something different that makes you scratch your head and say, damn, how did they lose that game? All right, we're going to get into the game. We're going to break down some of the flaws, some of the good things. We'll get into it, all right? But right now, the only thing that I've been able to think about, I know there's important things going on today, all right? It's Tuesday, November, the 3rd, 2020. So if you don't know what's going on today, you've been literally under a rock. You've been Patrick Star for the last year and a half. But this is what I'm thinking about. So you can clearly tell what type of priorities I have, okay? I'm thinking about this play right behind me, all right? I have people on Twitter who I don't even know telling me that this is a bang-bang play and that it's not pass interference. If you didn't see what happened, it's probably one of the most egregious flag pickups you're ever going to see in the NFL, okay? There's so many factors at play here as to why this is a bad call. But let's start with the fact that the DB runs directly into the wide receiver and prohibits the receiver, Dion Lewis in this occasion, from working back to the ball. Okay? Winfield doesn't have his back turned. So see, people say, oh, his head's turned. That is completely irrelevant if his head's turned and his entire chest and arm is attached to Lewis. It doesn't matter if his head's turned and he's completely impeding the guy from getting to the ball. Okay? I don't want to hear it's a bang-bang play either, because clearly it wasn't that bang-bang if the back line judge saw it clearly and threw the flag on the field. All right? So what it comes down to is, this is the only explanation I have for the calls last night. And we're going to get into the other calls, because there were some bad calls, and there were some in the Giants' favor, but let's be honest. A lot of these calls lean Tampa Bay. A lot of these calls. It was almost like, I don't want to say anything crazy here, because, you know, we've seen Tim Donaghy, we've seen refs be corrupt before, but this literally looked like the refs might have had a money line parlay, a stupid parlay on the Tampa Bay Bucs that they needed to cash out on a Monday night. But this call just screams, I'm afraid to give the 1-6 team a chance to win this game. That's all it felt like to me. Because you can't sit here and tell me if the Bucs had that same situation and Tom Brady is staring at the referees that they're going to pick that flag up. I swear to you. And there's no way of proving this, and everyone's going to say, oh, well, Mike, Brady doesn't get every single call. Yeah, I know he doesn't get every single call, okay? But in those spots, in those moments, with a 2-point conversion to tie the game, Tom Brady is not having – the referee will not have the balls to call that against Tom Brady and his team. I guarantee. And you can argue it. Please argue with me. Please argue. I was up till 2 in the morning arguing with strangers on Twitter. I never do that. I was arguing with strangers on Twitter till 2 a.m. last night about how egregious this call was. Okay? And it was a lot of Brady supporters. Listen, this isn't about Tom Brady or me taking a shot at Brady. It's just the fact that the Giants, because of their record and because of their stature in the league right now, all young players, a bunch of guys you don't know on defense, a new head coach, a second-year quarterback who nobody seems to have any affection for or just want to see him fail, which I don't understand. Listen, I'm a Jones homer, I'm a Giants homer, you can call me that all you want, but I don't understand the national media craze against Daniel Jones. Would you have preferred them to take Dwayne Haskins? Look how that's going. I think he's the 4th-string quarterback on one of the worst football teams in the NFL. He can't even get a game, and they took him in the first round. So I don't want to hear about he was the wrong pick, blah, blah. It just seems like this team doesn't get respect when the game's on the line. And I'm not saying they don't do it to themselves. They make plenty of mistakes, and there's plenty of reasons we're going to get into why they lost last night. But the only reason I'm willing to sit here and truly dive into and say, this is an example of why the Giants are never going to do anything in this league if the referees are making these type of calls. Go look at the fourth quarter scores for the Giants this year. It's actually insane. And I'm not saying, and I've watched every single down this year. There's no doubt in my mind that the Giants have gotten a call or two. But go back and look at some of the penalties last night. Isaac Yiadom, the corner, gets called for a helmet-to-helmet on which I don't even think he made any impact. I think Cameron Brate, the tight end, leveled him with his shoulder, lowered his shoulder, and tried to bull rush him with his head. But he got called with the foul. Personal foul, 15 yards. Mike Evans scores like a play later. Daniel Jones last night was not good. Don't get it twisted. He missed a ton of throws that he should have been making, which honestly is kind of shocking because we've seen him make bad throws under pressure, and the picks like we saw last night were that was the first. Those picks last night were the first reason I've had to really sit here and go, maybe the Giants should be looking at quarterback in this year. And I've been a huge Jones optimist. I've liked what I've seen. I think he's an athlete. I think he makes big throws from time to time, like we saw with Tate last night. And it does suck that the kid didn't have a chance to at least tie the game and get them into overtime, which would have been a nice little confidence booster for this team. But no, the referees took that away from me. This play, I'm going to remember this play the rest of my life. I really am. You could say the ball hits his arm. I get it. The ball hits his arm. But not before he completely body checks the receiver. The receiver is working back to the football and can't. He's literally screened by Winfield before the ball arrives. We could look at it right. I wish I had a telestrator like John Madden. I could circle all this for. But you see it right in front of you. The ball's not there yet. The contact has been made. It's PI. It's PI in the first quarter. It's PI in the second quarter. It's PI in the third quarter. And it's absolutely PI with the game on the line, a 2-point conversion, like 30 seconds left. All right? You can't tell me Brady doesn't get that call. You can't tell me Mahomes doesn't get that call. You can't tell me Breeze doesn't get that call. And it's not just the quarterback. The coach as well isn't respected. A second-year head coach, a first-year head coach has nothing the refs are scared of. They're much more scared of Bruce Arians' wrath. They're much more scared of Tom Brady's wrath. I'm telling you right now, you think this doesn't have anything to do and you think this is a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying the league is out to get the Giants. I'm saying the league has no respect for teams that are 14-point underdogs on Monday Night Football on national TV. They don't have the guts to sit here and give the Giants at least a chance to run it in on the 1-yard line. I don't even think the Giants would have converted on that. I really don't even think that you could say it decides it. I wouldn't even be confident the Giants got it on the half-yard line. I really wouldn't have been. But the fact that this was the reason they didn't have a chance to tie the game, absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Referees should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm actually upset with Joe Judge. I think Joe Judge should have give the refs even more after the game. I'm sick of these coaches being afraid of being fined. Listen, you'll get a lot more money in your pocket, a lot more paychecks in New York if you stand up for your team a little bit stronger than that. Listen, I know he criticized the refs a little bit. It wasn't good enough. It was absolutely egregious, that call. And I need to take a deep breath. This is somehow worse than the Ingram drop. Every week, they surprise me in another negative way. And this week, the negatives, right? The only negatives in this game were the 2 turnovers from Daniel Jones. And he absolutely needs to cut that out of his game right away. Listen, throw it away, take a sack, all the above. Everyone's already screamed it on Twitter or said it. It's not brain surgery. But the guy needs to learn how, if it's not there, tuck it in, run, get 3 yards. You're fast enough to do that. But he cannot be sitting in the pocket, backpedaling, waiting for someone to get open when it's not there. He's a sitting duck. He's going to get grabbed, fumble it, grabbed, try to force a throw and turn it over. It's not good enough, and he needs to clean that up immediately. As far as I'm concerned, he gets the rest of the season starting games. The season's a lost cause going into last night anyway. That being said, they win against Philly and they're like, 1 game out of first place or something? It's ridiculous, the NFC East. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to win the division because the team that wins the NFC East is going to be known as the shittiest division winner in NFL history. No one's going to remember the 2-14 Giants if they go 2-14 or whatever. Correction, I think they play Washington this week, but whatever. It's probably their only other win on the schedule. They like to beat Washington, but the loss last night comes down to Daniel Jones throwing 2 picks and awful officiating. Awful officiating and 2 awful decisions from Jones. Because other than that, yeah, he missed some big throws, but the guy's taking shots down the field. He's making the right reads. These guys are open on these deep balls early in the game. He's just got to make the throws. And honestly, accuracy down the field has not been my main concern with Jones when he's got time and he's got his feet underneath him. The only worry with Jones is he going to learn how to take 3 yards, take a sack, take an incompletion when he needs to? Because one of these plays a week is too much. Just one of them is too much for this team to try to win games. The margin for error for the Giants to begin with is too small. They do not have enough talent all over the field. That's apparent. They haven't made any trades today, so clearly, they're standing pat and like their team to a certain extent. I don't know what that's about. Again, I would like to have seen a couple of guys go. If you watched my video last week, go back and watch it. Evan Ingram played last night. He made a couple of plays. I still don't want to see the guy. I still don't want to see the guy play for the Giants. If you watched last night, I think on the game, almost game-tying drive, of course, we don't want to talk about that. The almost game-tying drive, Evan Ingram walks out of bounds on 3rd and 8. It literally looked like he walked out of bounds. He could have tried to fight for a couple more yards. He walked out of bounds on 4th down. I know it's 4 down territory, on 3rd down. I know it's 4 down territory, but you need to be better than that. And if you're this explosive tight end, he needs to be making one explosive play a week. He really doesn't. Even that big deep ball, Evan Ingram. So I wanted to see him traded. There's a couple other guys that might be of value to other teams, but really how much, I don't know. And the story is, the Giants were screwed last night. I don't want to hear it. Please try to explain to me how this is not pass interference. I heard people saying bang, bang, play. Like bang, bang, play means the referees get to just not make a call because it was bang, bang. No, that's not how it works, okay? Once the flag is thrown, have the balls to let it stay there and let's run the play again. If Tampa Bay gets the stop, fine. If not, it's overtime. It's not even like Tampa Bay would have flat out lost the game on that call. They would have had a chance to defend themselves in overtime, and they probably would have won in overtime too with Tom Brady versus Jones in a key spot like that. What are the odds? Okay, so as you can see, I'm still fired up. I still can't catch my breath. And honestly, I don't really know what can happen with the Giants from week to week now that's going to make me feel any more negative. The way I see it is it can only go up from here. It really can. If they lose by 40 to Washington, yeah, that'll be concerning. I don't see that happening. But even if they lose to Washington narrowly, like they've lost every game, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I do want to see Jones improve, or else they're going to be looking at quarterback this year, and there's nothing they can do about it. You cannot continue to go out there with a quarterback that's costing you game after game after 2 seasons if that's the case. So he needs to tighten the screws. I think the schedule will get better second half. It was a tough first 8 games. They needed to win against Dallas, against Philly. They beat Washington, and they needed to win last night, and this would be an easy first-place team right now. All 4 of those games are very winnable if you go back and look at them. So this is probably one of the best 1-7 teams I've ever seen. But at the end of the day, they're 1-7. They stink. They have a lot going against them. But it doesn't help when referees make calls like this. All right? So stay tuned to the channel. Mikey Hot Takes. We got more videos coming up. I got a Mets video coming up. We're going to talk about Stevie Cohen and what he's going to do with the Mets this summer, all right? This winter, all right? So stay tuned, subscribe, give us a like, and I'll see you guys later.